Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Life on the Roads with John Allen. There is a reason why you're going to start seeing more and more of shortage in your grocery stores. Why the prices are going to go up in your grocery stores, your clothes, everything that you buy on a daily basis. The reason all this is going to happen is what I'm fixing to explain to you. As the consumer, all you see is going into the grocery store, picking up what you need. Going to Walmart, going to Myers, going wherever you need to go to buy your household goods, your food, your clothes, your toilet paper, whatever you got to buy. See, the problem that we're having in the United States right now is the hours of service is being enforced to an extreme. See, imagine yourself leaving your house at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. And you have 14 hours to get done what you need to get done. 14 hours. That's going to work. That's going to the grocery store. That is doing anything and everything that you have to be done. And if you don't have everything done by 7 p.m. that night, wherever you're at, and you're not, whether you're 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, you have to stop. So you don't make it home. You have to sleep in your car, get a hotel room, sleep in a parking lot, sleep on the side of the street, off of an exit ramp somewhere. That is what the government, FMCSA, they have put upon the truck drivers. See, most people, they go to work and they work their 8 hours. They go home. All your stuff is sitting right there. You don't have to go through any wild extremes to get it. You don't have to drive hundreds of miles, which could possibly have an accident, road conditions, traffic jams, wrecks along your route. You stand where you work at and you work all day. You get paid by the hour. So if you do $10 worth of work, or you do $200 worth of work, you get paid the same. See, in the trucking industry, we have hours to work, but we get paid by the mile. We get paid by the load, by the percentage, whatever. We don't get paid by the hour. Very few people get paid by the hour. So what they're doing is they're controlling us by the hour, but we get paid by what we do. So if we get stuck in a traffic jam 4 hours, we can't move, that's money that our family loses. If we get stuck at a shipper and receiver for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, that is money that our families lose. Well, in order for us to still make the same amount of money, we're going to have to raise our prices, our rates for hauling it. To be able to haul the same stuff, make the same amount of money, we're going to have to raise our rates. That is going to fall back on the consumer. That's going to fall back on the shippers, the receivers. They're not going to eat that price. So they're going to raise the price of whatever they're selling onto you. Now, a lot of this 14-hour rule, the hours of service is what we call it in the trucking industry. We have 11 hours to drive in a 14-hour day. Now, that means if we drive 2 hours to the receiver to get unloaded in the morning, and it takes them 5 hours to unload us, so we sit back in the bunk, we take a nap, we do whatever. Then we drive another hour or two to the shipper, and it takes them another 2, 3, 4 hours to load us. By the time that they get us loaded, we don't have no hours to go, because we only have that 14 hours to move. So for us to make any money, we're going to take off as quick as we can at that 10-hour break. Now, remind you, we've been asleep and been resting all day waiting for these shippers and receivers to unload us, to load us. So we're not really tired when we have to stop. So we sit there and we do whatever. We read a book, we play on social media, play games, whatever that each person does for their self-enjoyment. So now they get 3 hours of sleep, but they still have to run. They have to make that money the next day because they didn't make no money today. They might have made $40, $50 all day today. So now they're running tired. Now they can't stop, because if they do, then they lose money again today. The hours of service is a big problem in the trucking industry, because it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. It's a do what we got to do to get the job done. Now, if you understand what I'm saying, then you're understanding what the government, FMCSA, is trying to do. They're trying to control what happens. Well, we in the trucking industry understand that everything needs to have some regulations to it. But they're trying to say it's to be safe. Now, is it safe to be pushed to drive when you're not ready to drive? When you're not awake to drive? When you're going through Indianapolis or Chicago at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you could have stopped outside, let the traffic die down, and keep on going. But because of the hours of service, we can't do that. We have to just push our way through. So we have thousands, hundreds of cars running around us, but we're not being safe. We're putting ourselves in situations that bad things can happen. Where we could have, when the roads are bad, we could have waited until 10 o'clock in the morning. No, we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The snow plows ain't hit the roads yet. The salt trucks ain't hit the road yet. But we're out there anyways, because we have to get that load there. We got people hollering and screaming, we need this load, we need this load, we need this load. All we're doing is having to put ourselves in bad situations because of the hours of service. And then at the end of the day, the consumer is going to be the one that is stuck paying this extra expense, paying this extra cost. Because we all know Taylor Farms ain't going to eat it. General Motors is not going to eat it. They're going to pass it on to the consumer. So not only is the hours of service affecting the truck driver himself, affecting the truck driver's family, but it's affecting you on a daily basis. So this is what we wanted to explain to you tonight. That until the people understand what's going on in the trucking industry, the people, the public, understand that the government is putting everybody in a bad situation, is going to be a bad situation. It's going to be an unsafe situation on the roads. Your products that you have to buy is going to go up but you're not going to get a pay raise at work because it's costing them more money to get it hauled. So they're not going to give you any money because they're selling a product more, because they're not making any more money. Folks, you have to start looking at the biggest industry in the world, and that is the trucking industry. The trucking industry has kept the nation moving, has built the nation 1 mile at a time. They are the reason we have what we need every day. They are the reason why you have a home, why you're able to go to the grocery store and buy your kids' milk, why you have clothes on your back. Because without the trucking industry, the whole world quits. It don't move. And until the public, until the government, until the people understand what kind of situation and start standing up for the truck drivers, standing with the truck drivers, you're only going to see worse things happen. Thank you for taking the time to listen. This is John Allen, Life on the Roads. Now we can get this thing to shut off.